everybody, thanks for dropping by. This is Trevor, and I'm not in my office today. Because it's nice and sunny, I thought I'd cruise out the backyard and set up. So come down here and you'll find me. Got a few things to run through today, and I hope you enjoy this week's episode. Cheers.
Hi, so you made it. Thought as soon as it's nice and sunny, might sit here in the backyard. Don't get out of here enough, to be honest. Things have moved forward nicely in regard to the into our film project, and a couple of meetings during the week helped lock in a few more pieces of the puzzle, which is really cool. We've also had a really big issue arise, and it's one that's taking a lot of my time and consideration, and as I try to work my way through it, I'll get onto that shortly. We've got another 3 or 4 days of the crowdfunding campaign to go, and at this point I just need to make it clear to people that, you know, there have been some mistakes made. There were some things I didn't anticipate, some stuff that come out of the woodwork that surprised the heck out of me. I'm sure someone with more experience would have automatically just added, you know, an extra few $100s to the budget and to accommodate. I didn't. This is the first project like this I've ever run, and there's a couple of things I just didn't anticipate. Having said that, right now my budget sits at $440 over budget. I don't want to have to take that money out of, well, that's the catering budget basically. You know, and I don't want to have to say to the guys I can't buy them a coffee or shout them dinner when we've worked till 11:30 at night. But that's a thing we can work around. And you know, like I say, still a few more days to go with the crowdfunding. As to our big issue, well, as you can see, I did throw some of my money behind the project. I bought some gear this week. Got this nice little fold-up table that folds in half and will fit in the back of the vehicle nice. Thought I'd better get some seats for the crew because they probably don't want to stand up for hours at a time. They might get cranky with me. And ultimately this is going to go inside our unit base, which will be a 3x3 metre gazebo. And I've got a mock-up in front of me, and I'll run you through the problem as it stands at the moment. I mean, I'm a guy from the bush, and we just peg things down. That's what we do. If a peg comes out, you put a bigger peg in. You know, if that peg comes out, well, you put 2 in, or 3. I mean, or you tie off to a tree, or you throw a sling around a big rock, or you tie off to a vehicle. I mean, these are the options that, you know, for years as what I've used, and that's what I'm used to. This is very much an urbanised problem, because we've been lucky enough that, tentatively at this point, but it's basically been approved, that we're going to be able to set up on next to the Arts Centre, right next to Hamer Hall, and it's an exposed area. It looks straight over the Yarra and right towards the back of Flinders Street, where we want to view. The problem is we're on AstroTurf, or some synthetic turf, any turf anyway, which is on concrete, so we can't peg anything. We're not allowed to tie off to anything. So there's seats there, we can't tie off to that. There's railing, we can't tie off to that. So our option is we have to weigh it down. And this is a thing I put together. Is here's our gazebo. These are meant to be ropes, and going back to some heavy weights. At this point, the gazebo, which once I get my crowdfunding money in about a week and a half's time, we'll be able to. The day we pick the vehicle up, we go and pick all the camera gear up. Then we go and pick up the weights from the high place, and then we go and pick up the gazebo from somewhere else. So that's what we do day one when we get the vehicle. But this thing comes with its own sandbags, and I think it's about 15 or 16 kilos worth once you fill them up with sand. and that'll go in at the foot of each leg and provide some stability. I'm going to hire eight 30 kilo stackable blocks, and we'll have 2 on each corner. So we'll have 60 kilos, 60 kilos, 60 kilos, and 60 kilos. But I don't know if it's enough. If the prevailing wind's coming from this way, for instance, we could take one block off here, put here, and that gives us 90. That's 180. It's over 200 on that wall. But is it enough? I've tried to research it. Everything I see on the internet tells me that you got people with gazebos and they've got just the roof, no walls, and they're holding it down with, well, less than that. But I know that once you put a wall up, it changes things. If there's any engineers out there that can tell me that this is going to fail, please do. You can email me. I can't afford to waste money on hundreds of kilos we don't need, but we're also going to be in a very public, exposed space, and I can't afford for this to go wrong, because we'd start to use up very quickly that 20 million of public liability I'm going to have. And I'm just not sure. I'm going to buy a wind speed measuring device, so on the night we'll be able to monitor it and see what the wind's doing. If you wonder where I'm buying one of them, I can buy a fairly cheap model for $70, or I could hire one for 90. You do the math. So that's our big problem for the week, and we need to try and sort it. And if I need more weights, well, I'll get them. We're a bit limited because we've only got one vehicle, and yeah, I just don't know. But I can't afford to have the thing go away either. What else has been going on? I'm still using my standard folder, although I think by the end of next week I'll be into something bigger. Apart from that, it's all going good. Another couple of days of the crowdfunding campaign to go. Would be great if we could chip up that extra $500. I mean, I'll put a number. If the crowdfunding could tap out at $5,000, it'd be awesome. And that would give us all the options and enable us to do everything we want to do. Have our catering budget, have a bit of money there for the website, and a bit of distribution on the back end, which is important. And this project is also more than doubled in size. Next week I'm going to do a big thing on crowdfunding and splash all the investors up on the screen, the ones that wanted to be splashed up on the screen, and we'll talk about exactly where the budget's at and what preparations in place. The next few weeks it's going to get very interesting. New equipment arriving, more plans getting locked into place, and towards the middle of the month we'll then head off on our film window, which is going to be a very, very exciting week, as we get to drive around in a late model vehicle and stop here, there and everywhere and jump out, and we're going to live the life as the roving film crew, which will be pretty awesome. Anyway, hope you can tune in next week. Cheers.